president has done so much for the American people, and we want to honor him in some small way, some token of our appreciation for his leadership. And so tonight, we have created a new award. We're going to do something we've never done before. We're going to honor him with a new award that we'll present annually from this point forward. But he is the suitable and fitting recipient of the first ever America First Award. We can think of no better title for what that is.
Yeah. Stunning. Absolutely
That's
stunning.
This beautiful golden statue here.
Yes, appropriate
For the new golden era in America. And we want to let you know before we bring the president out. And
all right. We had to start with that. That is probably one of the most surreal moments, I think, of this administration so far, is that they have to play with the baby, the man baby, and give him an award once a year just to boost his ego in case, he's having a difficult time or in a war he can't get out of. And this is it. This is, I don't know. Not only is this embarrassing for us to the rest of the world, but these guys, this particular administration, and I hope each and every one of the people, all the Republicans, their names are etched in stone on this one, because each and every one is responsible for playing with the man baby and appeasing him in every way, shape, or form by not having any control over the country at this point, giving all the power to the president. And boy, do we need another No King's Day. This is just truly amazing stuff. And my head is just exploding just from that alone. I Is there anything else left? All right. I'm John Peterson. We're broadcasting from the capital city of Wisconsin. This is Madison. And I'm a former radio announcer here in town, and we lost our job as usual. I mean, that's the thing in radio nowadays. In fact, radio is on the way out, from what I hear, and streaming is the way in. So anyway, I know it's been going on for a long time, but yeah, I'm a little late to the game here. I like to cover some of what's going on in Wisconsin simply because I think what's going on in this state is going on elsewhere. We're nothing new. We're not unique. And what we have going on here are the data centers. A lot of people are complaining, whining, and for good reason, that their data centers are going in without any kind of public support. I want to get to one that is in Wisconsin here. It's in Mount Pleasant. It's a Microsoft data center, and there seems to be some problems out there because the local individuals, all local families, the local communities surrounding this data center in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin, are hearing a whining noise. So I am going to play you a cut here that, and I'm doing all my own producing because that's, it's cheaper that way, isn't it? That's not why we don't have a producer. All right. But I want to get this. This is coverage from WYSN Channel 12. And what they have is a reporter out in the field. She recorded some of the noise that you can hear, or at least the community is hearing. So let's check out what she found out.
Hear that? It's Microsoft's data center in Mount Pleasant. Microsoft is building an AI data center in Mount Pleasant. It's been under construction for more than a year now. The part we're looking at right here is actually almost complete, and you hear that hum. That, according to neighbors, started up just in the last couple weeks. So it might not sound like much if you're just listening to it for a couple seconds, but people that live by the data center say that it'll come on for days at a time, and that it's just this kind of constant grating noise that they can sometimes hear inside their homes as well. Looking at the property, you can't quite tell what the noise is coming from, but Microsoft is aware of the issue. I've reached out to them for more information about what the noise is and what they're doing to mitigate it. It's a huge data center campus, but this one that we're standing by right now is set to be actually up and operational later this year.
So it's noisy before it's even up and operational. And the people have to put up with that buzzing noise. And boy, that does grate on you. I live right next to a highway. Now, a lot of times I don't hear it, but when I do listen and I know it's there, it is a little grating. But now, can you imagine having a data center from Microsoft and they don't know what the problem is? There's something wrong there, and I think it's intentional. They're just saying that they're going to try to appease everybody and act like they care. But a lot of these data centers are probably going to have the same effect on local communities as well. And why not, right? I mean, they're very noisy, and they try to mitigate the noise, I know, but what can you do? That's the noise. Maybe they think that's tolerable. I know local communities probably won't think it's that tolerable, at least in Mount Pleasant, right here in Wisconsin. So, again, this is going on all across the country, and people aren't really crazy about the data centers. A lot of people are thinking, well, what happens when technology marches on and on and on, and the data centers become more obsolete? And now you have these gigantic data centers, just covering the countryside, and you don't necessarily need that much room for, well, the advances in technology. So who knows? But one thing for sure, and this is it, the community, a lot of these communities, and even Congress at this point, even Trump, believe it or not, they don't want these data centers to suck energy away from the community. In other words, if the community is going to have a data center, at least the data center is going to have to pay for their own electricity. They're not going to raise the bills of the local communities around these data centers. And Congress is on board, the president's on board, everybody's on board with that one. But a caveat here, this is really interesting. Because we have gotten rid of green energy, essentially for the next 3 or 2.5 years, Trump has put 2 coal power plants in play in Michigan. And I'm going to show you a map here. This is pretty unbelievable. Now, we don't want people to have to pay for coal, right? I mean, we know that coal is bad for the environment, and we know we don't want to inhale the coal dust and smoke and pollution created by these coal-powered plants. Now, Michigan has put these in, but guess what? It affects the entire Midwest. So this is a map, and if you can see the green parts, those are the areas where the consumers, me, I'll be paying more for my electrical and energy bills because of Michigan charging us for their firing up 2 coal power plants. Now, it's not Michigan's fault. This is Trump ordering those plants to be reopened. And that's a map of who's going to pay for it. So maybe we're not going to pay for the data centers, but we're going to pay for going back to coal, if you can believe this. It's phenomenal. It's bizarre. All right, now let's get into the next big story here, and it's Jimmy Kimmel, and he has managed to upset everybody because he noticed something.
Elvis hosted a roundtable.
I keep getting the audio here, and I wish I didn't have the audio, but Jimmy Kimmel, and I can't play the video on this because. It's a network thing, and I don't want to take any kind of copyright away from them. So I'm just going to play the audio of Jimmy Kimmel talking about voting day in Florida, where a Democrat won the election around Mar-a-Lago. So why don't we listen to what Jimmy Kimmel had to say about that?
And Elvis hosted a roundtable to catch us up on his efforts to crack down on crime, including the most heinous crime of all, putting your ballots in a mailbox.
Brought to my attention today that we're the only country that does mail-in voting. Mail-in voting means mail-in cheating. I call it mail-in cheating.
Oh, yes.
That's right. He prefers in-person cheating, preferably with a porn star shortly after his wife gives birth. And he keeps saying it was brought to his attention today that we're the only country that does mail-in voting. When is somebody going to step in and tell him that is not true? 34 countries have mail-in voting. All the countries that have mail-in voting. So here's where the real magic comes in.
Yep.
That was yesterday. Guess what he did today? That's right. He voted by mail today.
That's right.
For the special election.
Melania.
He's unbelievable. He's really, Donald Trump claiming he wants to protect election integrity is like Bill Cosby telling you he'll watch your drink for you. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, was asked about this latest act of brazen hypocrisy and did a little tap dance around it.
President Trump has railed against mail-in voting as rigged. He said it's a form of cheating as recently as Monday. But in yesterday's special election in Florida, he voted by mail. How do you square those two statements?
Look, I think some states have handled mail-in balloting well. I think Florida is a good example of that. They don't allow fraud, and they have great systems. But that is not true in other parts of the country. And that is the concern, especially in a state like California.
Right.
Wow. Okay. So there you go. Some states do allow fraud, and I wouldn't mind being in a state that allowed a lot of fraud, so we could win those elections more often. But anyway, this is the whole thing. I mean, he voted, Melania voted, Barron voted absentee, mailed it in, and the point here is that in Florida, I'm pretty sure they have the Postal Service there, the same one, by the way, it's a national postal service, that they have in California. So I don't understand why there is a difference between their mailboxes and our mailboxes or the ones in California. This is kind of ridiculous. So remember that originally he had said that there were kind of three caveats to this, three exemptions. And one was medical condition. You couldn't make it to the polling place, obviously. Military personnel have a chance to vote overseas. And then, of course, he said, and those traveling for work or vacation that cannot make it into their voting district on election day can mail in a ballot, right? And then a few days later, or a week later, he came out and said, well, he wants no excuse, a ban on mail-in voting. No excuses. You can't be sick. You can't be in the military. You can't be on vacation. You can't vote. That's it. And that's what he is drawing the line on in Congress right now. He wants a no-excuse voting ban on ballots. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy, right? But he voted absentee. And I think a lot of people deserve to at least point that out to him. All right. So anyway, that's the latest and the most blatant piece of hypocrisy so far this week. But it continues. It definitely continues. Now, what's going on in Iran is a cluster. You know what? And that is a huge, huge problem for the administration. They don't know how to get out of this. They don't know how to take everything and make sure that everything is going to work, whether they negotiate themselves out of this. But we have Pete Hegseth in at the Department of War, who is saying things that are probably not the greatest things to say in public or to the rest of the world. Now, we have a general, it's General Randy Manner, and he's warning that Hegseth's rhetoric and actions are putting him on the path of war crimes. So let's listen to this.
We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country.
Those are the words of a potential war criminal right there. And that is not the advice and counsel and direction that any Secretary of Defense should be providing our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. It puts them actually in greater danger. The Secretary of Defense is a disgraced major that was kicked out of the DC National Guard. He has no qualifications whatsoever to be the Secretary of Defense other than his extreme loyalty to the president. Again, those are the words of a potential war criminal.
There you go. Potential war criminal. We already had an idea that he was already a potential or a war criminal for that matter, for what they have done with maybe sinking boats. But anyway, that is at least the opinion of a Major General, Randy Manner, on the rhetoric they were hearing from Pete Hegseth. Now, I got to lighten it up a little bit here because it's a little heavy. This is probably one of the most surreal moments, and I think you'll think so too. Audio-wise, which a lot of people are listening to audio only, I think it still comes across pretty scary. This is an event that Melania Trump had, and she was proposing an AI system. It's called Plato, okay? And it's a replacement for teachers. I'm not kidding you. Literature, art, science, mathematics, history, the entire corpus of knowledge at home. I'm going to play this. This video is frightening and shockingly bizarre. So let's see. Let's see here. It's wait till if you have a chance, you really have to see this, or at least search it out on X. It's out there. But anyway, will robots replace teachers? That's what this administration is looking at. That's why Melania is out there promoting robots teaching our children. and well, you know, check this out. Now, again, this is very frightening just to see this robot walking down the hallway with Melania to this meeting that they're having. So watch this. They're applauding that. Melania is a little stiff, probably more stiff than the robot. She looked over at the robot just to make sure there's some kind of communication there. Now, Melania's stopping, letting the robot enter the conference room by itself. It moves off to the side, the right side, and she enters the room herself and laughing, shaking hands with some of the people in the conference room. All right. Just the music itself is kind of scary. Okay. The robot gets in front of the table now of all the guests. Listen.
Thank you, First Lady Melania Trump, for inviting me to the White House. It is an honor to be at Fostering the Future Together's Global Coalition inaugural meeting. I'm Figure 3, a humanoid built in the United States of America. I am grateful to be part of this historic movement to empower children with technology and education. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Yokoso. Bienvenue. Bem-vindos.
The robot is waving its mechanical arm in hand. And a light is moving around in the center of her face. Female voice.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that's it. Exit right. Now, Melania is going to have something to say here, which is, I can't believe they're doing this. I honestly can't. All right. AI over teachers. That's what. Oh, now they're watching the robot leave the conference room, walking lonely down the hallway. Yeah, unbelievable. This is truly stunning. Okay, here we go. Melania's got a statement to make now, and let's find out what she thinks of all of this. The idea of AI robots replacing teachers.
Welcome to the White House.
Yes.
Figure 3, thank you for joining me at day 2 of Fostering the Future Together. It's fair to state you're my first American-made humanoid guest in the White House. But moreover, it is my distinct honor to receive such an impressive group of leaders today. 45 of you have traveled from every corner of the planet to represent your nation as a part of this new coalition.
There you go. I think it takes balls to present something like this. Now, I would assume that they have blown out every voting teacher out there that wanted to go mega. That's not going to happen now. They are going to replace teachers in the classroom with AI robots. Here's an X post that I thought was fairly interesting. Melania naming a teacher replacement AI Plato is the ultimate irony. The real Plato taught that education isn't just a data download, it's the process of leading a soul from darkness into the light. The soul part is key here. Hard to do that with a motherboard. We need educators, not algorithms. So that is at least one observation. I think it's a good one, since the whole operation is called Play-Doh. Nothing like destroying history as we're watching it. But again, not having people in the classrooms, this is just so surreal and so outrageous that they would actually think this is something that people would be okay with. Just spring it on them. Don't mention it. Just come out with Melania Trump, the first lady, actually promoting replacing, well, mostly female teachers in classrooms across the country. That is, it's beyond words, right? Sometimes I, need to just curl up in a ball fetal position in the corner of the room and just wait things out. Just, gather my thoughts again, get it all together. Now, we were talking about AI, and AI is really important. It's taking over everything. People are losing their jobs. And because I'm doing my own production here, I'm sorry about the audio just creeping in, but I'll fix that. Definitely. Now, what we have here is a judgment in the courts on AI and the problem with AI in the legal system. All right. So check this out. This is amazing stuff. I love this.
Big update in the legal world. And for those of you who love to use ChatGPT and other AIs, you're going to want to hear this. A U.S. federal court has ruled that a defendant's interaction with a public generative AI program, Claude, cannot be claimed as work product or attorney-client privilege. And that means that the defendant's entire history with Claude, that AI program, is now discoverable by the government. The court held that using public generative AI programs breaks confidentiality. And why does it break confidentiality? Because you're providing information to a party that is not an attorney. And when you share that data with a third party, it becomes public.
Yes.
So inputting sensitive information into a public AI platform waives the confidentiality, effectively waiving attorney-client privilege, even if the information was initially provided to counsel. This also means that documents and notes generated by AI after the client has inputted information into the AI are also discoverable. One of the biggest pieces in this decision had to do specifically with the rights and terms of Claude, which was the AI program that the defendant was using. Now, Claude's privacy policy reserves the right to use inputs for training and to share data with authorities. And because of that, using this tool destroys any expectation of privacy. So this is a landmark decision coming out of New York, and I would not be surprised if we don't start seeing cases like this in other jurisdictions. So what does this mean for my clients? You have to be careful what you're putting into AI. If you have any questions, talk to your attorney first. You're paying your attorney to do a job, so don't go willy-nilly and start inputting sensitive information into AI.
That's right. So, just to put a little summary together and using AI to do it makes it public and searchable, and people can find out what, you and your client have been talking about if you're an attorney. An amazing court case. That court case is United States versus Hepner, and the chats with public generative AI are not protected by attorney-client privilege, okay? Because it's a third party. No confidentiality there. AI is not your lawyer, and if your lawyer decides to use AI even just to summarize what you were talking about or send you a letter saying this is what we talked about, using AI to do that, suddenly it's public and it can be searched. And if anybody wants that information, they can ask for it in a court of law. How do you like that? So AI is getting a few people into trouble, and we're finding out very slowly here that there is a problem using AI. All right. Now, we talked about coal-fired power plants going up online in Michigan, affecting the entire Midwest. Energy customers in the Midwest will be paying higher bills because of a coal-powered plant being fired up again via the orders of the president. All right. He likes coal. He likes adding pollution. So because the prices are going up, we're seeing prices go up in the supermarket, at the gas pump, and the gas pump is what is going to now raise the price of package delivery. This is the story right here. I'll play it for you. And this is just kind of an amazing thing, because we all kind of knew this was going to happen. The administration is trying to talk around it, making it seem like, look, a little sacrifice is okay for all of us, but in the end, we'll be much better off. No, we'll be actually paying higher prices. Those prices aren't going to come down. But anyway, here's the explanation.
There was another headline today from the Wall Street Journal that the U.S. Postal Service is going to impose their first ever fuel surcharge of 8% on packages. First time ever, because the gasoline it takes to propel the trucks and the jets that have to move around.
Higher prices everywhere, right? We're also seeing it, you're hearing about from the airlines, right? As it costs them more to fill up their engines, if you will, their fuel. And without question, when you have higher energy prices, remember, it's not just oil, but you also have the byproducts of liquefied natural gas, the impact that has on fertilizer, on ammonia, on so many other things, and how that trickles down into the supply chain. You're ultimately going to see higher prices.
Joseph, let's leave our viewers with...
Yeah, leave our viewers with a down feeling. All right. So that's what's going to happen. Expect higher prices for delivery. I don't know how Amazon is going to take care of that last mile thing, but we'll soon find out, I would assume. I'm going to play a audio cut for you now as we skip through what's going on today in the news. This is from The Daily Show. I would play the video, but to be honest with you, it would be very difficult to do that. So, because, again, it's a copyright thing. We don't want to infringe on anybody else's ownership of that property. So if we played the video of it, we would be actually utilizing their intellectual property. So I'm just going to play the audio on this, but I think it's self-explanatory, and it's a wonderful piece on ICE at the airports.
Here at DHS, we see the long airport lines, and we've sent ICE agents to help out. But we're not stopping there. Today, we're introducing ICE PreCheck, the program that speeds you through airport security, ICE style. Just pull up to the curb, and a friendly masked agent will drag you by your hair directly to your gate. You won't even have to remove your shoes. Yeah. And if you want to keep your laptop in your bag, no problem, unless we decide it's a problem. In which case, take your laptop out of your bag. But you can leave your belt on.
ICE Pre saved me so much time. Now I can relax and get ready for my flight to South Sudan.
ICE PreCheck makes the airport easy. Traveling with kids? Not anymore. The application process is simple. There isn't one. DHS and Palantir have already determined your eligibility based on their vast database of DNA.
That's true.
Our members are loving ICE PreCheck.
Wow, what a time saver.
ICE pre-check. Service so good, it's practically un-American.
Good stuff, isn't it? Boy, what a piece. Yep. ICE. There was a solution. Congress put a solution together, and the president rejected it. And the walk around on that was that they would not fund ICE. Okay, but they would later propose a way to just pass funding for ICE without having a supermajority in the Senate. And they thought they had this worked out, but Trump did not understand the way Congress works. So he said, no way, I'm not doing anything. Okay, so I guess we won't be taking care of those lines anytime soon. At least, there's an easier way to do it. And I think the Daily Show came up with a solution on that one. Now, one person that on our radio show that we put together here in Madison for the last 2 years, an individual, a representative in Texas, a state representative, James Talerico, we've been following him for an awful long time. And the guy made so much sense. And he uses the Bible to make sense out of what's going on in Texas. And, Christian nationalism, essentially. Well, just recently, a pastor and the host of the show the pastor was on wanted this Texas candidate for Senate, James Talerico, to be crucified. This is truly an amazing piece. Now, of course, Talerico has his own response to that, and I'll pass that along to you. But I think what I'd like you to do is just at least watch the audio or the video on this if you can, but listen to the audio.
We're talking about
really
that.
Is
So
truly fantastic. Just way off the charts as far as what they are proposing here. It's just crazy stuff. So here we go. Check it out.
We're talking about that. And so I say, even in the debate, I think you might have seen it, but that I had on campus the other day, I pray that God kills him. Ultimately, that means killing his heart and raising him up to new life in Christ. That's the first thing.
We want him crucified with Christ.
That's exactly
I
right.
want him to be, I think, Saul of Tarsus, Talerico of Tarsus.
Yes,
That's what I want. Who would say, I was holding the garments while they stoned Stephen, and now I'm that's what we want.
Yes, we want death and new life, right? And if it would not be within God's will to do so, stop him by any means necessary, oh God.
There you go. Oh God. And James Talerico actually had a pretty good response. As he says, Jesus saves and Christian nationalists kill. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty close to what that is. So anyway, that is how brutal white Christian nationalism is. It's not Bible-based whatsoever. If you ever have a chance to listen to John Fugelsang, he has a evening show on Sirius XM. Check that out. Often a guest on the Stephanie Miller Show, who does a fantastic job talking about this as well. So definitely we need somebody like James Talerico in Congress, in the Senate, to make some sense out of this and call these people out for not being real Christians, but instead Christian nationalists. One last story here. I wish it was about Wisconsin, but I don't have a Wisconsin story at this point, a current story anyway. But I thought this is probably one of the better
Trump murders children.
Things
the walk signal
that
is on. Trump. The walk signal is on.
Okay, did you get that? I'm having a hard time controlling that video.
Trump murder.
There you go. I got it now. Again, we'll take care of that problem. Sorry about that. But this is from Brian Krasenstein. He posted this and said this. This is actually real, not AI generated. The walk signal in Denver was hacked, and this announcement was put in its place. Okay, here we go.
Trump murders children. The walk signal is on. Trump. The walk signal is on. Trump murders children. The walk signal is on.
That is, I don't know how many walk signals were hacked to say that to each and every person in Denver, but it is interesting. Let's listen to that
Trump
again.
murders children. The walk signal is on. Trump. The walk signal is on. Trump murders children. The walk signal is on.
And there you go. So, pretty good. Nice. It's the best way to hack things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's show. We are certainly trying to put together a program each and every day for you. We've had a few problems with freezing and stuff like that, technical problems streaming. So we're doing a pre-recorded program, but each and every day we'll have fresh content, a lot of cuts, visuals as well. So if you have a chance to watch on YouTube, do that. We'd appreciate it, and favorite us as well. So if you can, join us again tomorrow. We'll get this all together again, and hope that you enjoy the program. We'll see.